it. I know that I said this is for myself, but I'm gonna post it on public anyways because I still think it can encourage people. Still think it can encourage those who do feel the call. Because if you are called, just go. The rapture, just being real, is coming. It may not be what people are talking about it's gonna look like, but the rapture is coming. That's like certain. And we don't need to play with that idea that, oh, let the dead bury their dead, Jesus says. So if you've been called to be strange, to just follow God, just do it. Especially if it's of no cost to you. We're in the best country in the world to do and say whatever we want as long as it's not, quote, harming anybody, which the gospel is definitely offensive. But it is not something that isn't protected by our government. So it's like we have no reason to not be speaking, to not be preaching. So be weird, be strange, be odd for Christ, and follow him, because no one's gonna be wanting to stay here. I don't even want to stay here, I'm not trying to stick around for what the world is turning into. And there's no need for us to like, the picture that God gave me was as I was trying to delete stuff, how I wanted to play Shania Twain, as I'm leaving TikTok in a way. And it's like, Precious, did Lot write a nice letter? I wrote this somewhere. I think it was on my TikTok, but that's now deleted, of course. But did Lot write a letter? Did Abraham write a letter? Did Noah write a letter? No. He just went. He just went immediately to doing. If you know something is true, you don't play around. You don't make friends, like the picture I learned with being with the Mormons. And that one I know I wrote on TikTok or Facebook. But by being friends with the Mormons, I was even careful how I worded it, because I was planning on friending them or responding at least to one of their requests, because only one of them requested to friend me. But I was going to respond to one of them, and I was like, I don't want them to see my messages being so negative to them. But truly, if I'm befriending false doctrine, it's not helping me and it's not helping them. Like, they talk about, don't be a harlot, don't be a prostitute where you're unfaithful to the Lord. Even being friends, if you don't have the right mind, because we look at Jesus, right? And he could be with sinners and he could scold Pharisees. But Jesus was someone of a different mind. He was not someone who was still seeking the approval of man. He was not seeking the approval of anything or trying to be rebellious. He was simply our Messiah, doing what he needed to do. And he's God. So he'll do what he needs to do. But to say that that's your reason for taking your time, he's the same guy who said, if your hand is causing you to sin, cut it off. Cut it off. There are people in our life who they will lead us to sin. And it's not that they're wanting that, but they lack knowledge. And you can't put it on them, your righteousness or your holiness or your sanctification or your justification. I can't put it on my dad, that I was thinking wrongly. I can't put it on my former roommate that I was thinking wrongly. I can't put it on people that have been in my life. If I know who God is, I don't need to now negotiate with people, hey, do you understand why I need to do this? Because that's not part of the plan. It's not part of the deal. Even looking back is going to cause you to be frozen and to not enjoy the promises. That was what was happening with, yes, Lot's wife, but that's also what happened with Israel. They would constantly be thinking about Egypt. They weren't ready. They weren't preparing their minds for what God had to give them. I'm not saying that God's a liar, but this example came to me today, how actually it was through a TikTok, not TikTok, but it was a YouTube short by Anthropo, him throwing a surprise birthday party for his friend, and the girl said, you liar, because he invited her just to play Mario Kart, but they ended up, what's it called? They ended up having a surprise birthday party. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting distracted, but she accused him, she said, "You liar," but that wasn't a negative thing in that moment. She was, even if I don't really know her, so maybe no, but it was a positive thing that he lied. It was positive that she got a party instead of just playing Mario Kart for her birthday. And moving from that, it's like if God was to say, "Precious, I'm gonna raise you up to be a principal," this is what I thought. "I'm gonna raise you up to be a principal of school one day, and you're gonna transform education by transforming that school." And then he now says, "Actually, I want you to clean up dirty houses." If I say you're a liar, it was better when you told me the first thing, or what I thought with Instagram and TikTok. I actually liked the original plan of just saving my stuff and then removing everything. Or before that, it was supposed to be that everything goes on private. But no, it's time to leave. It's time to get out. Delete. Don't even deactivate. Completely delete it. You're not going back. Selfishly, I can admit, I would hope to see that the church makes apps that, whether it is YouTube, I said GodTube on Facebook, they need to make a GodTube or something like a God TikTok. Selfishly, I want to see y'all on apps like that. And I would hope to make it. I don't know if it'll be me. I think that it'll be somebody else. That's why I'm saying it freely like this. But Christians are better off, and even the world is better off when we're off of those apps. Not when we're staying on the medias because we're trying to share the gospel. Do you even know the gospel for yourself? Do you know what God saved you from? What you need saving from? What you need to be worked out in holiness and in fear and trembling? Do you know that? So how are you going to be able to tell people the same thing? Do you have the mind of Christ, that you can be amongst sinners and rebuke Pharisees while also walking a perfect life? The answer is no. That's what I'm saying. So you shouldn't even be on social media. Even if you think that you're doing something, get off. And if people want to argue with me about whether or not, just find out if your motives are correct when you try and justify being on social media. Because I tried to do that for 5 years, and now here I am, finally deleted again for the second time. I tried to delete the first time, I couldn't, because I needed to justify myself amongst everybody. So if God has called you, delete your social media. Don't make another account. I know it may seem fake for me because I'm making a YouTube. So then take it with what you will. But I just know that there are many people who are befriending and fraternizing with the enemy, not knowing that this same enemy is looking for our downfall, is trying to prevent and delay the kingdom of God that is to stand forever because of our eternal King. So don't play with it, And I know, again, I'm also trying to come out, so I know you're hearing that and you're like, Precious just sang a secular song. I know I did. But the idea is we're trying to get out of here. It's not if we're perfect, but get out. You know the movie Get Out? Get out. So, yeah, man. Maybe this will be my one and only YouTube video. Maybe. Yeah. Good word. Have a good day.